part of it. Yet those who do study history are going to stand by helplessly while everyone else repeats it. And the thing I realized, you can't get upset about it. It's just, that's the nature of things. It's just, if there's someday going to be a parade going in a different direction, well, then I can stand in front of it and maybe move forward. But otherwise, you'll get run over by the parade. So anyhow, and a little more background. Between 1977 and 79, I had crisscrossed the globe as chief engineer and troubleshooter for an Ohio manufacturing corporation. As a project manager for the international joint venture in the mid-80s, my clients fell in love with a small Ohio community I had found for their future manufacturing site. As a facilities director at the time, I was always looking at different sites. We bailed on one, but it was great opportunity for someone. Then I got involved with this joint venture. I said, guys, you gotta look at this place. And it was at the groundbreaking ceremonies where the manufacturing partners explained to the public how the Japanese perceive a joint venture like an elegant or precious pearl, which both sides closely cherish. But what truly differentiates one precious pearl from all others is the setting. The joint venture was delighted with the community they were in because it was just a perfect setting for them, and they're thriving today all these years later. But that's how it was when Cindy and I came back here to Maine. In 2008, I became fully appreciative of those comments upon finding our future retirement home and community setting, which is going to be the Lewis and Auburn, New Gloucester corridor. It too was love at first sight in spite of the challenges before us that we're going to show. This would indeed be a labor of love over the ensuing decades now. Boy, 15 years have passed. I'm going to back up a little bit because I'm talking about the importance of setting and the importance of the Lewis and Auburn setting. Here's a picture of New England. The state of Maine, as many of you know, is the largest in New England. In fact, it's bigger than the rest of New England. We're 54%. Mm-hmm. The rest of New England is 46%. We could still fit some of it in here. Maybe Rhode Island. Cindy's never been there. She wants to go to Rhode Island sometime. Maybe we can move it up here. We have a lot of McDonald's as clients in Ohio. There's hundreds of them. I wanted to use a McDonald's. Think about a cookie cutter, eight McDonald's stores, identical in every way. They're going to have the same utilities. And I'm going to say, and here we are, and we're going to use a baseline of 1. Let's say my total heating cost here is $1 a year. And if I say to all the other McDonald's now, I expect you to do that or you're going to be penalized. Is that fair? The answer is no. Maine is so big. In Orono, everything is identical. They're 13% higher energy costs. On the coast, 30%. Presque Isle, 42% higher. Rangeley up in the mountains, 55% more energy costs. And if you're up in the Allagash, you're 82% higher energy costs. So depending upon where you are, if someone up in the Allagash says they've done a great job of energy efficiency and you see them 82% higher there, what? No, they may have done a great job. It's just, it's not being recognized, which is that big Maine is.
Well,
And-
because the conditions there are colder or more
Yeah,
brutal?
colder,
Okay.
yeah.
Not pricing and population and that?
Correct. We're saying
Okay.
everything the same, it's just colder. They'll average 35 degrees up there, where we average about 10 degrees warmer down here. And then if I'm in Sanford, it's 4% warmer, but that's part of the central corridor. And if I was in Boston, it's 26% lower energy cost based on heating requirements. That's if we kept all the same utilities and same cooker cutter equipment. So the key thing is, to compare apples to apples, you have to recognize what are the heating requirements in different regions and not penalize or reward them just for location. So here's Maine. Here's District 1, District 2. Maine's southern interior zone is what NOAA has classified. It's a government agency. Typically experiences the warmest temperature average within the state of Maine. Lewiston, Auburn, and New Gloucester, Sanford. So we're kind of the heart of the nicest weather in Maine. And this region, since 1999, has averaged a little under 45 degrees year round. And here we are. I've pointed out to some of you, we're in New Gloucester, and that's Poland across the cove. Different, yes.
This is what I was really interested in this average temperature. Because I remember from 2019, does that 44.9 still hold today?
That holds today, but I've only gone back since 1999. I actually have history going back to the 1840s, and I'll actually show some of those temperatures later. We've been lower, and there was a period of time we were higher than this temperature. The local temperatures actually say we have dipped a hair in the last 21 years in this location.
Now, when you talk to friends and et cetera, it's the complete opposite of what people think.
Correct. Yeah, and there's a reason for that I'll say, because I came from the energy industry. We'll touch on that. And I just want to mention, New Gloucester this year is celebrating its 250th year anniversary. But for reasons cited in the next few slides, Cindy and I might have to wait another 20 years to celebrate New Gloucester's 250th birthday on the western front, for reasons I'll explain to you. Here's a map, a blow-up of this region, and we're going to do a little history here. Now, New Gloucester officially was established in 1774. The region we're in here in Auburn, Mechanic Falls, Poland, and so forth, was really called Bakerstown Plantation. And the Shakers in 1783 located a Thompson plantation palm, which they later named Sabbath. And they had land between Sabbath Lake and Wilson Brook here. Well, there was a political conflict between Bakerstown and the Shakers. And so something happened. And so the Shakers watered their cattle on the eastern side of Wilson Brook beginning in the 1780s. And as I said, they weren't getting along well with the neighbors across the stream. And in 1794, the town and district lines were being created. And so the town of Poland and Muskegon, Main District 2, and lo and behold, the Shakers had enough clout to secede from Bakerstown and join the already established town of New Gloucester. So they said, we're going to take our ball and bring it into New Gloucester. And so here's the boundary line that was in the stream.
Outside your window.
Yeah, right outside.
And so if I look at a map today, this map, anyway, here we are. There's Wilson Brook, and that's now how the lines were drawn up. That we have this little extension that's New Gloucester. The rest around it was Poland. So there's that little finger maybe Shaker is doing to Bakerstown. But I try to be more polite. I
You
think
used
it
your
was-
index finger.
Yeah. Maybe I should have gone like this. Let me hold this up. I think of New Gloucester Township as the keg, and we're the spigot that dumps into Upper Rain Pond and feeds the others. So here we are, and I'm pulling out a certain date because some sad things happened then, but it opened up some amazing data opportunities. In 2016, New England was known as the
You
year
mean
without a,
1816.
excuse me, 1816, thank you, dear. Like I said, I'm the trophy husband. She has
Oh,
to
what's
keep me in line.
200 years here?
Yeah.
And
I'm a numbers person.
And it was also known as, cited by many as the year 1800 and froze to death. And here's what it looked like in June here.
Oh my gosh.
In June 2016, inches of snow fell across Maine and New
It says
England.
6 inches, babe.
6 inches. What did I
Numbers
say?
were-
Yes. July, another freezing cold spells. August 13th, 14th, frozen corn. August 20th, again, low temperatures. Maine farmers were wrapping rags around their plants, trying to keep them alive. And this continued for 3 years, 16, 17, and 18. And that's what, and one of the important things that came out of this was that Joseph Meigs, Commissioner of Land Offices, said, you know, we gotta start recording temperatures. Weather can be deadly if you don't keep track of what's going on. And so they started a program ordering thrice a day for measurements. And that also spawned the Farmer's Almanac of 2018, which today is produced in Lewiston. Now, just quickly, what happened 14 months earlier that led to all that